Gus has drafted an email message to a local organization. He is pondering whether to send it, and we had a little conversation about it. This is a Tuesday night before Thanksgiving that we recorded it. Do you have any particular personal connection?
Not really.
Okay. So it doesn't hurt to go ahead and send it.
Uh-huh.
But I think we need to think about alternatives. So here's the deal. Let's say that you get a random email from somebody who works for Starbucks corporate office, and they say, "Hi, my name is Tina Bessius, and I work for Starbucks, and I am available to do some community service work for about 15 hours in the next 3 weeks. And I got in touch with your school's main office, and they said that you are a senior and that seniors are kind of stressed out right now and might need some help with something. And I was wondering if we could set up a time to meet and discuss the possibility of me helping you out."
I can see how that would be a little difficult to reach out outside of.
Do you think you might feel like you don't really have time to talk to this person?
Yeah.
And it's hard to know if they'd really be very helpful.
Yeah.
So that's where doing the sort of cold call, as they call it in sales, or the sort of stranger email, random email is kind of a tough way to go. You did that assignment, Gus, where you came up with a bunch of ideas about topics or entities that you could talk to. I think you came up with 5 or 6 of them. So Water First was one of them. That's an organization that you have a close personal connection to.
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about doing your final project for them?
Good. So that was like my initial thought, but I thought that like this course and I did the interview about that, and I thought that I might want to step outside of that a little bit more and just kind of like a little bit like we're talking about. It can get confusing time, kind of stepping outside of that personal connection zone. But I feel like that would be pretty interesting for this project and make it a little more challenging.
I really like that thinking, Gus. Yeah. So how about, and Water First, you have a long family connection and all that to the owner. So I can see that might not be your most exciting option at least for the beginning. So let's put that to one side and then think about other organizations. I see on your list the Seattle Aquarium, Salmon Stewart, Beverly Park, Friends of the Ballard Locks.
Yeah.
Have you talked to people? Have you found any personal connection to any of those organizations?
Not really. I've been to the aquarium. Like but I haven't really. I don't know anyone specifically there.
Have you talked to your science teacher, your advisor, your parents, your friends?
Not too much.
So let's imagine that you do that you sort of, try to reach out to everybody you know and say, "Do you know anybody at the aquarium? Anybody at Ballard Locks?" Whatever. Then what? And let's say somebody says yes.
Yeah.
Then what? How would this go?
I would email them, kind of give them a description of the course that I'm taking, and talk about that the final project you're doing is a community service related one. And I would talk about maybe my interests like filming or video, and see how that could tie in with their work, but also the community service project that I'm doing.
And so if you get your teacher or your friend who says that, "Yes, I know somebody at the aquarium," then oftentimes, one way that this often goes is you say, "Would you please send an email introduction for me to that person?" You can even write it for them. Say something like this.
Yeah.
Make it easy for people, okay? You know, say something like this. Say, you know, I have this this student named Gus, and he is really interested in the aquarium, and I think he could really help you out with a project in the coming weeks, and he'd love to meet with you next week if that's possible. And they send that message to the person at the aquarium, and they copy you on it, and then you follow up with a direct message to the aquarium person.
Okay.
So it doesn't. So they might pick up the phone and call and say, "Hey, could you use some help?" That's cool too.
Yeah.
Way to do this.
And the
Message to two recipients is a common.
okay, and the project has to. It can't be physical service. It has to be some sort of art piece or project. That correct?
So I wouldn't say it has to be an art piece. It could be. So you could. What kinds of things could you do? This is a question on a lot of people, I think, in the course. It could be a video.
I was thinking like,
as you said, or a project of some kind. It could be writing. You know, you could, or it could be photos. It could be, you know, you could do an Instagram story for an entity. You could, there are a lot of different ways you could participate. You could do a blog post or a series of blog posts for them. You might start, instead of with the form, you might think about the content. And think about what would help the people you're talking to. So for example, is there a message that you at the aquarium really wish the public were getting? Is there something you'd like to tell them about an animal or about the aquarium's operation or about Puget Sound? Is there some message you'd like to get across that you think people don't get?
Maybe it'd be interesting, like the ecosystems and the amount of animals that live within the Puget Sound, like native species and stuff. That, but then like also for the ballard locks, I was thinking maybe people don't understand they like want to know more about the engineering marvels that it has. Just like it's like crazy how long it's been along, but still like works amazing, works like it did.
So what you want to do is kind of go to the person that you end up talking to, whoever it is, and say, is there some message you'd like to get out? Is there something you feel people don't really understand about your organization or your operation or whatever it is? And then you start brainstorming. And then the message is, well, you're there to help, right? So, and then you start brainstorming about how you can help tell that message. And in particular, you know, your best expertise might be, is there something you wish young people could better? And that's a group that oftentimes people my age sitting in an office somewhere struggle with. You know, like, I don't know how to get young people interested in ballard locks, but I wish they were. You, Gus Coluccio, have the solution.
Yeah, but that makes a lot more sense in terms of I'm here to kind of solve their problem that can't really be solved, like, I don't know, in their situation, I guess.
Exactly. Or maybe they just have a project that they'd love for you to work on. You know, you don't want to promise the sun and the moon and the stars, but you could, you know, if they've got something they'd like worked on, you could try it and see what happens.
Okay.
But the key here, Gus, is to put the focus on them and their needs.
Okay.
So, as opposed to approaching it that I'm a student and I have this need to do a project and finish a course, that's incidental. That's not important to them at all. What's important is their organization, their mission, and your enthusiasm for their mission, and the way you might be able to do something to help them out, to achieve their goal. That's where the focus should be.
All right.
So you've got some organizations that you want to ask around and see if you can find a personal contact anywhere. Even if you just get a name and you have to email the person yourself and say, my science teacher, Miss Frizzle, suggested I contact you because, I'm really excited about Puget Sound and all the animals in Puget Sound. And I'm wondering if I could do something to help your organization in the next 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Something like that, You can email them directly, or you can get your teacher or a friend or a parent to email for you and kind of do a little introduction that you follow up on. That's another way.
Okay.
You could also go by and stopping in physically is gutsy. Sometimes it works, But let's say, and then the third option is you just send an email to the contact form on the website and see if anything happens. You got about a 5% chance there. You don't sit around and just wait for an answer.
Yeah.
But it could, sometimes it works.
Okay.
And then if none of that works, we got more fallbacks. Then you start thinking about the people who are a captive audience. So people who work in the public works department, the city or the government in some respect, they have to talk to you. You're a member of the public. So business owners, if there's a dry cleaner or a car wash, they're there. They're a captive audience. You can just walk in the door and say, hey, I'd like to find out about your water use.
Yeah.
You can find somebody that way. And you should expect to have to try quite a few.
Okay. Because that's why we're starting so early too on this project.
Exactly.
It's kind of just to get the engine wheels turning.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's the general plan. And is there anything, do you have any other questions about the project or anything else?
No, I think I'm pretty good. I'm pretty set.